eyes on me. All eyes on me.
Alright, what up YouTube? It's the Night Saint here back with another video, and this video is going to be about why unhappiness is attracted to you. This was a video on my little video idea list that I was thinking about doing today. Hope all is well with everybody. And yeah, I think that a lot of people are in love with their own suffering. Even me at certain point in earlier points in my life and just in my own little spiritual journey or just journey period with anything, my self-improvement journey period, is that at the beginning, comfort, how they say comfort is the enemy. Something you've been around, all the mistreatment you've been around, even though logically you understand that, well, not logically, feeling-wise, you understand that this negative treatment or negative feeling is something that's always been constant in your life. You always, been associated with it. Your parents been associated with it. Every relationship you've been inside of has been associated with it. You don't ever want to, break that bond that you have with like this negative treatment. And in the way your mental mindset tends to shape it, well, it takes shape and it really like just molds around this negative treatment. So you just live life holding like these negative beliefs and, mindsets that attribute to this negative treatment to be attracted towards you, or, you go out seeking it, you go out looking for it. And I believe that's how a lot of people are, even with myself. In many ways, I'm very much like a giving person. Like I think it's just linked to boundaries. It's like people have trouble with boundaries, and you just allow things to keep happening to you, and you don't really, you're not really smart enough, or you don't really have a great understanding of yourself, or you just may not have like the will just break that negative habit. So of course, a lot of negative things just keep happening to you over and over and over and over again. Let me speak of my own personal experiences. Me personally, I'm just very much a loving and giving person. In many ways, I have like this mindset. I think that it's a mindset that's good to have, but since I grew up very flawed, the thinking was very flawed, and I just grew up in a lot of dysfunction. It manifested, far worse, and it didn't really, allow like for the positives to ever show. Like the idea of like me, I go around, like I said, I'm very loving, just giving person naturally. So if I will go all out for people that I love, and that's how I am. And I end up getting drained, after a certain while, and it's very negative for me to be doing that. And like in a way, it is very negative, and there's always harm that's always being done to myself. In many ways, I understand that it's bad, but I don't like to give up on people, and I believe I'm very optimistic in my thinking with people. But in me doing that, only thing I'm doing is really causing my own. In a way, I'm causing more harm to myself than I am to the people around me. And then on top of that, you start to gain an inflated sense of, like ego, in the sense of where, you doing something for somebody else, and really you only doing something to make sure that you don't feel bad, And all that does is just it strengthens the suffering that you experience, and it just makes you feel, it makes you feel terrible, but it just, like I said earlier, it just increases the suffering, and it just shows how much you really want to keep suffering, even though you may not be conscious of it. A part of you had like this negative thought about yourself, like, oh, I deserve this, and so you keep accepting the suffering, and it just keep going on and on and on until eventually you can't take it no more. And only two things come out of you not taking it no more: is either you improving, or you going crazy. So in many cases, that's where I ended up going to. I'm like, damn, I'm giving everybody this love. I'm doing all I can for other people, and it's going generally just unappreciated, and and I have to make a decision so that you can either focus on yourself, so you can be able to pour from something, and not be so empty when people don't receive your help well, or you can keep pouring into people and not pouring to yourself, and you're going to feel unappreciated, and, you know, you can go crazy. And, you know, I have to make a decision like, yeah, I'm not about to go crazy for anybody, and I'm not about to overextend myself for anybody. So, yeah. For the longest time, I didn't understand that. And for the longest time, I couldn't really grasp my head around it. Why I was feeling so bad, but it's like I was really just draining myself of all my energy, and I had to start being more logical with a lot of my time, a lot of my attention, because it was just being used up by people that didn't really appreciate me, you know, and could really care less about me and what I'm doing, you know. People, I think that's one thing about people. Like I said, I think at the end of the day, people don't care about effort and about, you know, what you did for them, like I said. And of course, like I said, nobody asks, but, you know, at the same time, it's still a good thing. It's still good in the sense of, like, you know, like, okay, this is who I am. And like I said, I'm not about to get upset that, you know, people don't appreciate that, you know. I think this idea, like, giving unconditional love is that you give people unconditional love, whether they take it or not, whether they want it or not, or, you know, just rather, you know, they gonna respond well to it or even just give you anything back. Like, I'm genuinely a person, like I said, I don't really care if people give something back to me. I try not to, I don't, like I said, it's just how I am naturally. My mother's like that, so I always been very giving of an individual. So that's always how I've been. So for me, I don't really look for anybody to give me anything back. If you say you'll give me something back, that's one thing. You know, like I can get upset about that, but if you don't, like I said, I don't look to you to, you know, like, oh, like my hand, I'm like, oh yeah, you're gonna give me this, like, give me this back, you know. Like I said, I'm a man of my word, and like I said, if people are a man of their word, or just if people just, you know, honest about what they say to people, I wouldn't get upset about people, you know. Like, that's why I don't ask people, like my brother or just anybody to ask me for something back, or let's say let me borrow something, or can you loan me something? I'm about to say, in words, I get, you know, that they intend on paying you back, but some people don't, and they want to, you know, slick around and be slick and stuff like that. But, and for many of those times, I had to, you know, be able to just, you know, look at it from a third eye point of view and just be like, okay, well, they're not gonna pay me back, then they ain't gonna pay me back, you know. And that's your choice whether you're gonna, you know, continue through, you know, helping them, or you're gonna cut it off. So, but just me naturally, I'm always just, you know, trying to give unconditional love as much as I can. So, yeah. But yeah, people always attracted to their suffering. Like I said, and you can't help nobody out their own suffering either. Like I said, if people want to live in hell, you gotta love them. You gotta let them. You gotta allow them to live in hell and go through whatever pain they going through, because ultimately it's a lesson in it. And as much as I want to help people, I had the hardest time understanding that as well. Is that some people just want to suffer, and you must allow them to go through that, no matter how much you think they shouldn't. Like I said, who are you to decide that? You know, you must allow them to go through that and, you know, struggle. So take your energy and just go about the rest of your business and allow them to do whatever they're doing, you know? So, yeah. If you like the video, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see y'all later. Thank you.